From introducing Elvis Presley to music at a young age to standing by his side throughout his journey to stardom, Vernon Presley was a doting and supportive father who played a crucial role in the life and career of the king. Despite the untimely death of Elvis at just 42, Vernon remained a constant presence, encouraging his son to pursue his dreams and passions. In this video, we take a closer look at the inspiring and impactful relationship between Vernon and Elvis Presley. Behind every superstar, there are parental figures who help them. That was certainly the case with the king, Elvis Presley. His father, Vernon Presley, had a huge influence on his life, from introducing him to music to supporting him on his path towards stardom. While Elvis was known to have been particularly close to his mother Gladys, it was his father Vernon who was with him every step of the way, right up until the king's untimely death. This is his story. Vernon Presley became Elvis's father at just 18. Vernon was born on April 10, 1916, in Fulton, Mississippi. Vernon was not good at studies, and he dropped out of school when he was in 8th grade. He moved out of his home at a very young age. In 1933, at the age of 17, he married Elvis's mother at age 21. Gladys was 4 years older than him, and because Vernon was underage at the time, they lied about their ages in order to get married in 1933. Gladys soon became pregnant, and she gave birth on January 8, 1935. According to the book Last Train to Memphis, The Rise of Elvis Presley, Vernon had various small jobs trying to make ends meet. He frequently worked with his older brother on the farm, and he also drove a wholesale grocery delivery truck to retail stores throughout Mississippi. However, tragedy occurred during the birth. Gladys had twins, but the first boy, Jesse Garon Presley, was stillborn. The second boy, Elvis Aaron Presley, survived. When Elvis came into the world on January 8, 1935, Vernon Presley was reportedly delighted to become a father. As he said in 1978 after his son's untimely death at age 42, "My love for my son began even before he was born. At that time, there was almost nobody poorer than my wife Gladys and me. But we were thrilled and excited when we learned that we were going to be parents. I was only 18 years old, but throughout Gladys' pregnancy, it never occurred to me that I wouldn't be able to take care of her and the baby." When asked if Elvis' life might have been different having a twin brother, Vernon said, "I can only say that God spoke to my heart and told me that Elvis was the only child we'd ever have and the only child we'd ever need." The Presley home was reportedly a loving one. Vernon said he rarely spanked Elvis and that there were some activities that Vernon loved, but that Elvis decided to avoid. When the elder Presley wanted to take his son hunting, Elvis replied, "Daddy, I don't want to kill birds." The Presley family arrived in Memphis in 1948 with most of their belongings crammed into a 1939 Dodge. This is how Vernon Presley helped Elvis make it big. One thing that the whole Presley family did was sing. Vernon was a deacon for the Assemblies of God, and his wife sang in the church choir. They would get together and sing gospel songs around the piano. Elvis Presley's love of church music and his happy family memories helped him become the king of rock and roll. The older Presley said that soon after Elvis left high school, he wanted to be a performer. Vernon said that his son was interested in trying to sing gospel. In the 1972 interviews used in the Elvis on Tour documentary, Presley says, "At that time, he was more interested in gospel singing and quartet singing. So he tried 2 or 3 different of the young groups to get in with them. They was either full or they didn't think he could sing good enough or something. I don't know what happened. Then, after he made this record, quite a few of the quartet groups wanted him." When Elvis began finding success, Vernon worked alongside his son to guide him. When Elvis was 20, he was offered a contract with Sun Records, but he was still too young to sign, so Vernon did it for him. He also went on tour with his son and helped oversee his finances. At one point, Vernon even had a role as an extra in his son's film, Live a Little, Love a Little. Clearly, fame changed the minds of many people about Elvis's abilities, but it was too late. Elvis was a solo act, and his dad made sure of it. He told Elvis to stick to what he's got, and the rest is history. How many wives did Vernon Presley have? Vernon was married to Elvis's mother Gladys until her death at the age of 46 in 1958, leaving the pair distraught. Gladys was diagnosed with hepatitis at the beginning of August, and her health quickly got worse. Elvis was in the military, but he was given emergency leave to go see his mother. He got to Memphis on August 12. She died of heart failure at the age of 46 2 days after that. Elvis Presley was devastated and never the same. Their relationship had remained extremely close. Even into his adulthood, they would use baby talk with each other, and he would address her with pet names. However, just 2 years later, Vernon married his second wife, Dee, and they moved into a home on the Graceland estate. What did Vernon say about Elvis? Elvis and his father had a close relationship. Elvis always called his father Daddy, and his father often called Elvis the boy. Vernon was always happy for and supportive of his son's career, and he often talked about how Elvis had always stood out. Well, in some ways, and some of the clothes he wore were different. The way he wore his hair was quite different to what there was back then, you know. And he was criticized quite often about it, and it really didn't bother him, and he didn't change it, and he went on, keeping it like it was anyway. In a 1945 interview, Vernon described Elvis as a special gift. He said, "When Elvis was about 10 years old, the reason was revealed very clearly to me in a way that I can't explain. I can only say that God spoke to my heart and told me that Elvis was the only child we'd ever have and the only child we'd ever need. Elvis was a special gift who would fill our lives completely." When the king became famous, Vernon was not far behind. Vernon managed his son's affairs from Graceland, where the Presleys lived since Elvis was 21. Not only did Vernon oversee Elvis's finances to a large extent, he also went on tour with his son. Vernon also visited Elvis on the sets of his movies and had a role as an extra in Live a Little, Love a Little. Throughout Elvis' whole life, the two men were inseparable and definitely depended on one another for assistance. When Elvis died in 1977, Vernon was named executor of his estate and received $72,000 per year, ensuring that the king's will was carried out. Elvis Presley's estate worth has not been established. However, according to court documents, it has made about $5 million since the singer's death. Lisa Marie, the daughter of Elvis Presley, inherited the majority. Mr. Presley's first wife and the mother of Elvis, Gladys Smith Love Presley, died August 14, 1958. On July 3, 1960, Mr. Presley married Devada D. May Elliott Stanley. That marriage ended in divorce in November 1977. 2 years later, in June of 1979, the older Presley died after a heart attack at Baptist Hospital. He had been suffering from heart conditions for some time. Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, received the inheritance from Vernon's son upon his dying. However, she was not allowed to receive the funds until she turned 25. Some say Vernon Presley died of a broken heart. No father should have to experience the loss of a child, particularly when he has felt so close to his son throughout his whole life. Even though the death of Elvis was tragic and horrible, at least the two Presley men weren't apart for long, and they are now both at peace. It's clear that Vernon played a crucial role in Elvis's life and career, from introducing him to music at a young age to standing by his side throughout his journey to stardom. We hope you enjoyed learning more about this special bond and the influence Vernon had on the king. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about the life and legacy of Elvis Presley, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to leave your thoughts and comments below. We'd love to hear from you.